Hey everyone, Melissa here from Sincerely Creative Mom. You guys, my desk looks like a mess, but it's that way for a reason. This is the supplies from the December resupply box, December 22 resupply box. The contents of the box usually between $80 and $90. It cost me $60. They buy it at a huge quantity, so they pass along the savings to us, which is awesome. As we go along, just remember that you can always find out more details on the supply box at millssupplybox.com. This particular supply box came with 2 full rolls of mesh, which we've already made this wreath, the mesh, the ribbon, and the ribbon tails. The only thing we added was these 2 ribbons in the bow. This one came with the supply box, so we already have 1 full wreath made. They're not kits. It's not, it doesn't come with all the pieces to make a wreath. I've added a couple pieces like the actual frame behind it and the pipe cleaners. But the sign, the mesh, the ribbons, and that top ribbon and the bow all came in this box. And we're going to use the rest to make another wreath. So it's $60 for the box. I've already made one that retails at $79.97. I'm going to make another one that retails. This one's going to be about $89.97 because we're going to add a little bit of greenery in it. The box came with the red and the white mesh, 2 of the same greenery, another greenery, 2 2.5-inch ribbons, a 1.5-inch ribbon, that sign, this sign, which we're going to use just a minute here, and an ornament that I have on my Christmas tree, and a cute little thank you taffy. So lots of value in these boxes. I've already gone ahead. So these ribbons, this is what I have left of these ribbons. So I used it for this wreath over here. We're going to use it for this wreath over here. And I have just a little bit left, which is enough to go right in the scrap pile. Same with this one, exact same, because we're using the exact same over here and over here. So these will be ending, and then I'll have this left after we put together this wreath here, and still enough to go in a grapevine. Super duper cute. Great value. Okay, I'm going to set these aside. Excuse me, sorry. And then we're going to get started on our wreath. So again, this box, the total value, retail value, was $90.07, and it cost me $60 to have it shipped to my house total. So we're going to use this. Excuse me. You're going to use this sign, which there are 2 signs. We're going to start with a 14-inch frame. And I'm going to come around here. We have 4 rings on this frame. I'm sorry, yeah, 4 rings. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 brackets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to add a little bit different here on this one. I'm going to put a little bit of greenery on the top layer. Hopefully I don't forget and cut them off first. Cut the pipe cleaners off first and do it a little differently. This is one of my biggest sellers. I sell a local boutique, and this style is, well, for example, it's mid to late January. It's late January, mid-January, and I'm still selling Valentine's Day designs there, if that tells you anything. So that's where we're at with that. I'll also be listing these on my Etsy shop, so I have both chances. And we went with the white mesh. It's a border mesh, real light color, but we're going to lighten that all up with those, we're going to darken it up a little bit with those ribbons. And you see the clamps on the sign because I added those zip tie mounts to the back there, and a little tiny bit of glue. So while they're drying, I just add those clamps nice and tight to keep that on there. Okay, so what we're going to do first is, we're going to get a little cramped here, but that's okay. I'm going to take our mesh. So it's 10-inch mesh, and I cut it 20 inches wide. So we're just going to ruffle it up here in the center. Fill it all the way to the edge. And put that right in there, just like that. I'll overlap that a little bit and tuck those under, just like that. All the way, try to stay in that center as much as possible and try to keep your center as tiny as possible, giving that a nice big spread there. And this is woven material, so when you cut it, it's gonna unravel, it's gonna fray, whatever you want to call it. Just be as gentle as you possibly can with it. And once you have it set, don't touch it, right? Just don't touch it after that. There we go. By overlapping it like this, it really starts to help hide that fray. We got a lot of ribbon and a sign and some and a bow that's going to go on the top here, so it is going to hide all that imperfections, but there we go. The frame comes from the Dollar Tree. The weight that we're putting on this frame is about all it really should be used for. Beyond that, I get a little nervous because the welds on these frames are not meant for a lot of weight, but they're perfect for this style. I use them all the time personally. I don't know that I've ever used white for the mesh for a pancake wreath, but here we go. Now, I know some of you have heard this a million times from me, but I'm going to say it again for those of you who are new. Your job as a wreath maker, whether it be for yourself or a client, is to hide that wire frame. It's not part of your design. It's just not. Not in this case anyway. So I'm going to try my best to make sure that that wire frame, this wire frame here, is completely covered. And I don't mean covered by having, this is covered, but you can still see through to that frame. So I'm going to try my best to make sure in the end result, you can't see the pipe cleaners and you can't see the frame. That's my goal. This style is meant to be super thin, to go between doors. So like between a screen door and a storm door and your main door. I don't know, what do y'all call it where you are? Storm door? I call it, my grandparents used to call it a storm door. I call it a screen door. Alright, so from here, I've already gone ahead and taken our ribbons. Remember the rest of the roll, I had exactly enough with that little bit left over. So we did this one, and I'm going to do this one. So what I did was I cut them 14 inches long. They're 2.5 inches wide. They're all wired, okay? Put my favorite on the top. I folded it to find the center. I also folded it here, and I cut on the fold up to that edge to make a nice little V shape. You see there? So I unfold it, find the center really tight, make it super little, fold it so it's all facing out towards you. You want those dovetailed edges to come all the way out so that it looks like a sunburst almost. And for right now, I'm going to put them in there and twist that like 7 or 8 times or so, and then we'll come along and cut them all off at the same time and spread those ribbons apart so that you can see both ribbons. Just like over here. Excuse me. Well, that's weird. That was weird. Just a random piece of masking tape on the back of that ribbon. So far, totally love it. Now, a little risky, this is. My sign has 0 pink in it. 0 pink. So I wanted to make sure I brought in the pink into everything. So it's in our tails here, and it's also in our bow. Usually you just pull the colors right from the sign, but I wanted to really use this ribbon, so I did. And it doesn't not go, just the sign doesn't have the pink in it, and that's totally fine. Alright, so from here, I'm going to cut off this excess because I don't need it. Now remember I said I were adding greenery? We're going to add greenery just to the top layer. Number one, there was only, well, there were 7 stems there, so there wasn't 12, and it's going to look just fine. Okay, I'm going to take this little piece here and I'm going to stuff it right underneath that right side. Let's zoom you in here so you can really kind of see what we're doing. Stuff that right underneath the right side, or the left side rather, and then I'm going to pull this up and down. I'm going to pull it side to side. Okay, I want to see all of that ribbon as much as I possibly can. Pull it up and down, pull it side to side. Now, this is the reason why I put my favorite on the top, because you get to see the top a little bit more, and that bottom is just a little covered. So I always put my favorite ribbon on the top, and then the accent ribbon on the bottom. You just want to do a really good job of pulling those apart, because if you did your job, the first part, if you did your job really well, this is gathered real tight, okay? And now that it's gathered, it's in there the way you just want it to, but now you want to pull that gathering apart and spread it apart so that you can see all that ribbon. Ow. The first time that ever happened, I put that extra little piece right up underneath my nail. That didn't feel good. That's the first time it's happened in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. I'll be more careful. Okay, so from here, we have 6 pipe cleaners, you see very clearly, waiting for us. We're going to do the exact same. Now, notice here that this piece of mesh and this piece of mesh, they do overlap a little tiny bit, not much. The next pieces are going to overlap a lot, and it's going to do a lot of things. It's going to help make it real full, and it's going to cover that frame that we can still see. So, same exact thing. And don't just grab the rest of that. Make sure you scrunch it all the way to the edge. Right down on top. So it's going right over this part of the ribbon, but that's okay. Once we put the ribbon in the top layer, you'll see it looks really, really cute layered. It's really nice. There we go. Put that mesh all the way down to that pipe cleaner. Don't let it just float there. There we go. Now, if you're doing this for a business, don't forget to check out sincerelycreativemom.com. That's my website. And we have a couple classes. One that teaches you all about how to be a boutique vendor. I personally sell at a boutique, which is the reason why I'm still making Valentine's Day in January. I sell at a boutique that is local to me. I taught a nice class, very informational, includes an ebook. So at sincerelycreativemom.com, if you click on classes, you'll find that information there. Also, if you're looking to host classes in person, I also have a nice big class on that. You can find that there. Also, if you're looking to make garlands, you can find several different garland tutorials in there. And if you're looking for more instructional videos on in a group setting, I'm also a creative coach inside a group with several other folks. I think we have just about everything covered in there. It is a monthly membership where there's hundreds of videos in the vault, and we're live, I think 7 days a week. I know for sure 6 days a week, but it could be 7 days a week between all of us. So you can check out that information over at creativecoachmel.com. Okay, so with the rest of our, what are these ribbons? Sorry, I forget my words a lot. With the rest of these ribbons, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Then we'll add our bow. We'll make a bow. We'll add the bow. We'll add the sign, and we will be good to go. I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, no, I just remembered. Okay, we got the greenery. All right, so nice and tight on one time. Nice and tight. Then I'm going to take our greenery. So this was on a bush just like this. Hold on. It was on a bush like this. All I did was push them up a little bit so they're a little bit gathered in one spot. And then I cut them off right at the base. Well, not right at the base, but a little bit. See, I guess right at the base. That's what I have left. Okay, so I'm just going to, nice and tight, I'm going to lay it down in there so that that greenery starts right here. I want that greenery to start right there. Actually, you know what we're going to do first? We're going to pull this. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put those in there. There we go, just like that. Yeah. I spread it apart first. That'll be a little easier. And then add that. Look at how cute. Just one little stem. Totally love it. It's going to look great. Cut that edge off. And then same thing I do normally. Tuck that right underneath that one side. Look at how cute. Easy breezy. Okay, easy breezy, lemon squeezy. If you felt compelled, if you weren't sure It will, but if you felt compelled or necessary, you can go in and add a little bit of glue right there. Just a little dab will do ya. I've done this enough times to feel very secure in the tightness. So I'm going to skip the glue part, but you are more than welcome to do that. I'm going to add in all the ribbon first, and then we'll add in all that greenery. So I'm just going to put the ribbon in, and I'm going to tighten it, twist it one time. So it's going to hold that ribbon nice and tight. And then we'll add all the greenery at the same time. And then our sign is going to go in the center, so I'm going to leave that stem there. I'm not even going to cut it off or nothing. I'm going to leave it just like that. This is adorable. It's going to be so cute. So now I just took my $79 design and I brought it to $89. Oh, I already forget. Look how quick I forget. Habit. All right, I'm going to add our greenery all the way around. So again, I already pushed them all up. Right there at the base. Now I will have one piece left over. Call me crazy, but I do keep it. I have a piece of extra, like an extra bin. So what I'll do is I'll either put it in the extras bin or I'll check my greenery to see if I have another one of these. And if I do, I'll use a pipe cleaner and I'll tie the excess, the extra one with a pipe cleaner to the rest of the bush so that it all stays together. I'm just going to cut these off. Tuck them all under. Now, this is just like step one of adding greenery. You could add so much more. Different styles, different layers, all that stuff. We just added one little bit just to make our design a little different. At the end, I'll go through and pull all those out. Okay, so I'm going to take this and position it. Let's see here. I want to cover as many as possible here. So I'm going to put that one right here, and I'm going to put our bow right there. So it'll cover those two. Let's make our bow. Let's get that secured in first. Okay, so I have our zip tie mounts already attached to the back, and I have another security right here. I'm going to use all three. So I'm just sliding that through nice and tight. Slide that through nice and tight. One last one. And we're going to place it right back where we had it. And then we'll make a bow. We have 3 ribbons for our bow. And I went with all the hearts. Actually, an exact image of the other wreath that we made. Let's put these in. Let's get rid of this so it's out of the way. There we go. Alright, let's find out right where it was. I have all 3 of these that I want to make sure I get in. So I'm going to position it, and then what I'll do is I'll bring those pipe cleaners right where it is, and I'll bring it right into that mesh, right through it, and hold on to the frame right where it is. Well, this one's in a... Oh, there we go. Go right through. Now this is definitely the tricky part, because you're going through all those, lots of layers. Here we go. I'm going to pull this one in and then readjust after I have one in. And all I'm doing is wrapping it around that wire frame in the back. Alright, making sure I'm all covering here, and that one's going to go, the bow is going to go right there. Covering. There we go. Perfect. One last one. I just try my best to make sure that all of those are covered as best as you can. All right. We're going to make our bow, and then we'll be all done. So that pulled that up a little bit. I want to make sure it hides this one over here. Again, at the very end, before I take pictures, I'll make sure I go through and pull that all out. Super duper cute here. All right, let's open this a little bit so we can get to our ribbon for our bow. Went with all the hearts, pink, red, and black. We're going to go with a 7.5 inch and a 6-inch loop. Okay, and then pinch. Twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop. You guys, I sat one day at the very beginning of my wreath making. I sat with my very sweet, well, we weren't actually friends at the time, but I was friends with her. She didn't know it yet. My sweet friend Lisa from Kellum's Creations, she was making bows. Bows. You guys, this time I made 2 loops on each end, just because I kept going there. It's all right. Anyway, I watched her and watched her and watched her and watched her over and over and over again until I really feel like she made a special bow, which I was going to make, and then I just kept putting loops there. But I watched her and used ribbon and made bows over and over again until I really felt like I had it. I didn't even get up. I stayed right there. I went back to it. I, was using ribbon at that point that was crinkled and had it, but I didn't get up until I had really felt like I'd made progress on bow making. Don't be afraid to do that. One little loop on that center, nice and tight. I have so many videos you can check out on Facebook, on YouTube, all the places. So if you're looking for something specific, somewhere I probably have it. Always twisting to make sure I get that pretty side on the top. And I have a spot waiting for this bow. Push down nice and tight before I add my pipe cleaner. Guys, even the Easy Bow Maker, I'm as you see, I can do the bow. My hands don't like me when I keep it all in my hand at the same time. So that Easy Bow Maker really helps to allow me to keep control, like I like to, of the actual layer, and then set that layer down in. I'm just cutting on the fold up towards the edge. There we go. So our sign is in, so we don't have to worry about that. Let me see here. Our center loop, so we have our pipe cleaner here. Our center loop is going to come right up to the top and cover that. And I think I'm going to do it this way and pull that right in, right there. Oh, so cute. I'm going to go right through that mesh, just like I did for the sign. Kind of feel your way through it. Sometimes I swear in my head at it. There we go. Come on. If you're interested in learning more about us in the coaching group and all the things we do, you can check it out, all the details. CreativeCoachMel.com. If you're looking for the supplies that I usually use, you can check out CoachMelSupplies.com. If you're looking for the Wreath Supply Box, where these supplies have come from, you can check out MelSupplyBox.com. If you're unsure, you can always text me. I'm happy to answer questions. My phone number is 810-498-2310. All right, now this is going to cover the sign. No one freak out, it's supposed to. It's not going to cover the whole thing. Just enough. super duper cute. Absolutely adorable. Y'all, that little bit of greenery just did everything. It's adorable. So we started on a 14-inch frame. We have 12 twist ties. We have 10-inch mesh that we cut 20 inches long. Our ribbons are 2.5 inches wide, and we cut them 14 inches long. And I'll turn this up on the side just 1 second so you can see how thin it is. Even though that bow did make it a little thicker, it's all right. So with our supply box, we still have some left, some supplies left. Let me put this up on the side. So we already made one, okay? And then we made this one. Look at how thin it is. Thin, it's thin. You wouldn't know it by looking at it like this, but it certainly is thin. Look at that bow, so cute. You guys, I appreciate you for watching. Thank you for watching these videos. Again, please make sure you're following us so that you can see our videos in the future. It's Sincerely Creative Mom. I'm Melissa. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.